Hey there, race fans. I'm your man, Todd Brown of That Racing Show. Thanks for dropping by for another segment of That Racing Show's Pit Stop. Man, what a crazy week of racing we had all the way across the board, from short track racing to everything going on at Texas to a retired speedway having action going on. I just first off want to start out by saying a huge thanks to everybody who watched the last episode. We got over 20,000 views really quickly and a lot of new subscribers. And I just want to say much thanks and much love to everybody who, especially those who subscribed. We, as I say, the show's just starting out. We got a lot of crazy things that we're going to be doing. We're doing something totally different, fun, entertaining, and just wild racing action and fun, man. I just cannot stress fun. Now, as I said, we're going to get started with some of the short track racing that went on across the country this week. Got to start out with Seekonk Speedway. Crazy finish to the late model division. It was the season finale. 4 drivers out for the title. Late race caution lined them up 1, 2, 3, 4. And man, they didn't fail to put on one hell of a race to the end. There was 2 of the championship drivers that come across side by side. That was Chase Belcher and Mark Jennison. They battled it down to the wire and came across in a shower of sparks. That just an amazing race.
Down to the stripe, white flag in the air. Jennison again. He's got one lap to do it. Can he do it? Belcher trying hard into 3. Watch how hard they go in the corner. They slide, they touch, they rub, they open up the bottom. Off the wall goes Jennison.
Now, we here at That Racing Show were fortunate to get some in-car camera from Mark Jennison as he came across the line. So let's take a look at that.
Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
Now, as they came across the line, Belcher was ahead by just a nose, a fraction of a second. That after the race, the officials got together and determined that there needed to be some form of penalty for the contact that initiated the incident that happened. And with that gave Mark Jennison the championship, the win. And man, I got to say, deservingly so, coming across with a finish like that. I think they're both winners and champions because that's some hellacious racing right there. That's what short track racing is all about. And Mark Jennison actually went on to win the Pro Stock Championship at the Speedway as well. So I'm sure there was a whole bunch of beer drinking and partying after that race. Now, the coolest thing about the whole situation to me was the victory lane photograph. This right here, if this is not epic, something that I don't think I've ever really seen before, and something I'm sure is going to be hanging on their walls for a long time, is a very cool conversation piece. Now, the other late model race action that was taking place was at Martinsville Speedway, and man, it didn't fail to deliver. We're just going to cover this little piece right here because, in what I believe was the first heat race, there was a couple guys battling for the final transfer position, and they were putting on one hell of a fight on the racetrack that carried over into the garage area. You can see there's a lot of arguing, some fists being thrown, a lot of fists being thrown, kicking out of the car, and here comes big guy to say, "Scoop, there it is." Let's cut this out and get back to some racing. Man, this guy's post-race interview, if this isn't epic and something that just shows the passion of short track drivers, I don't know if anything will ever display it, but here it is.
The car was really fast, but man, you get these dumbasses that come in here and run with us, and they have no business running a late model, much less a lawnmower. I mean, he wasn't close. He dive bombed me. He hooked me. He wrecked Brandon Pierce in the process. And I wanted to talk to him, and he flipped me off. So I started Mike Tyson in his head. I mean, you're in a big boy sport. When you wreck a man, you can take a grown man ass whipping. That's how I feel.
Somebody get that guy a ride in NASCAR, because I will watch every race just to hear his post-race interviews and see that passion come out of him, because, man, that right there, that's what short track racing is about. And I'm going to preach this in probably every episode, that if you're not out there watching short track racing, supporting your local short tracks and the drivers, you're missing out on so much, because grassroots racing is the beginning steps for so many. It's a high level for so many of them, and it's just amazing races that you have to check out, because if you're just sitting home watching racing on Saturday and Sunday, you're missing so much coolness that just for me, you won't get at the big speedways. Now, of course, the other big talk of the week is everything that went on at Texas. Just got to say a huge congrats to Tyler Reddick. I mean, that young man just continues to rise to the top, keeping his name out there in the action. And Man, I got to say, there was just a short time back I was questioning why Richard Childress would want to keep him on and put him in the third car for next year, knowing he was going to another manufacturer. But I got to say, at this point, even if Kurt didn't come back, I think I'd want to keep him and put him in that third car to develop that team. As I've said, I do believe Austin Hill will take over in 2024. But man, you want a hot shoe like that in there to build a team. And God, if I was starting a team, I think that would be the guy that I'd probably want in there because he's proven himself and he's just one hell of a racer. Now, the other big story at Texas was obviously all the tire issues. A lot of cautions, a lot of crashes. Cody Ware impact, that was something I do not like to see. That just was a very hard impact and something that looked really bad, and I'm sure hurt pretty bad too as well. Now, we had 3 former Cup champions fall out with tire issues, and that brings me concern because obviously these teams that these guys are driving for are top teams. They're full of engineers. They're they're doing everything that they need to do to provide the most speed to the racetrack and everything else. And why so many keep having tire failures? I mean, I know people are talking about the tire pressures. They're not doing different suggestions and things like that. I just don't know. I don't know what the answer is right now with the tires. There's a lot of people out there discussing different things from bringing other manufacturers in. And before we even get into it, I want to say I am completely against a tire war. Everything that happened years back was very dangerous to the drivers, very costly to the teams, and things of that nature. But I do have to question if there is something that needs to be done here to maybe look at a different manufacturer, which obviously probably will never happen. But it's good for conversation, so I'd like to hear your comments on it. So please, down below, just throw in your insight into it and what you think about it. Now, there's a lot of people that I've seen talking about Michelin because they run a low-profile tire in the IMSA series, and NASCAR owns IMSA, so a lot of people are saying, hey, why not get IMSA or Michelin to start looking into a Cup tire? And if somebody does come into it, obviously I want it to be something where there was outside testing, things like that. Just something that does not cause danger to the teams and the drivers. But right now, I got to question what's going on with Goodyear because there is just so many incidents that just I just don't think need to happen. Now, and the one thing I always do talk about here is the playoffs because I do not want to see the playoffs be decided by mechanical issues or tire issues. And as I've said, it's been some great racing all year, but it's getting to the point now with the playoffs and play and drivers getting eliminated and how much the issues of tire mechanical stuff like that is impacting the playoffs. It's basically being taken out of a lot of the drivers' hands to compete for the championship or just to get to the next round of the playoffs. And that's something that I just don't agree with. I think everything needs to be really focused on to get these guys to be able to race to the season finale as racers, not determined by incidents like this. And then one of the guys who was very vocal on Twitter after it was Denny Hamlin, which obviously Denny was a big topic of everything that happened over the weekend. But Denny put out a tweet with his thoughts on everything and was very, obviously, Denny was pissed off after the weekend, so he threw it out there just to say his part and provided for a lot of banter between fans and different people on his page. And I don't know, like I say, going to be interesting to see how it happens or how it all plays out going forward. Now, obviously, Denny was a big subject of the whole incident under caution with Willie B. Caused for a lot of controversy, a little press conference after the race where NASCAR said that they did not see it because they were focused on something else, which leads me to the question of, is NASCAR blind? I mean, how the hell do you miss something like that with all the technology that's up in the NASCAR booth, all the eyes, the ears, just everything that's going on? I just do not see how you overlook something that was that deciding to the point of the race. Things like that don't need to happen. And I'm glad NASCAR, they called themselves out on it, but I just don't see how you keep overlooking things like that. When you go back to Daytona with the rain coming in, that's something to me right there. To this day, I don't think that should have happened. just different things that, again, decided who's moving forward in the playoffs, deciding finishing positions and things of that nature that I don't think needs to happen. And I just want to say, hey, NASCAR, if you're looking for a set of eyes to go to the racetrack and want to provide a little salary, you know, I know this guy who does this little racing show who would be happy to go there. And as long as I can take my cameras and get a little content as well, wow, we could have a good relationship and not have this stuff happen again. So give me a call. Yeah, right. Now, the other thing I got to talk about is definitely Denny here with his after the race interview. Man, Denny's got a hit list, crazy hit list, and I don't know what's going to happen with this, but I would hate to be on it right now. But this is another thing we're moving forward, and I'm just very curious to see what's going to happen if him and some of the guys that I'm not going to name them, but some of the guys who had interactions with him this year that Denny's put in his memory bank for a race or two. I'm very curious to see if this does turn into any kind of retaliation in a pivotal race or something that again decides who makes it to the next round or even who is the champion for the year. So it's all going to be interesting moving forward. But man, I look so forward to every bit of it. And like I say, please don't let it come down to tires and mechanical failures to determine a champion, because this is a very pivotal year for the series. I know NASCAR is going to work hard on this. I know Goodyear is going to work hard on this. I know the teams are working hard on this. But let the champion be the true champion this year. Now, one of the other tracks I just want to talk about right quick is Rockingham. They had the big rigs back on the racetrack this weekend. They also shared the weekend with a Super Truck Series. I hate that I did not find out about it until afterwards. I myself used to go to Rockingham to watch the big rig races, and I'm going to tell you, it was very entertaining racing and a lot of fun to watch. If you've never seen it before, let me share it with you.
Jeff Salmon in number 93, the GMC truck, and he's going to be a contender here for that second spot that Mike Adams currently holds. And this is only Jeff Salmon's third start in big rig truck racing, the first time he's ever even seen a high banked oval.
Now, if you've ever heard a big rig tire explode on the interstate, you know how loud they are. And I'm going to tell you, when one of these things goes off on a racetrack like Rockingham, it's an explosion that I just cannot even describe. Something you just have to take in to get the essence of it. I can remember when I was about 9 years old walking up to the concession stands at Rockingham when one blew coming out of four, and I swear to you, I damn near pissed myself. It was such an explosion. And but man, it was some great racing, some fun times, and I hope they continue this, and I hope it continues to grow. It'd be really cool if it'd be something that they could bring in with a weekend with maybe an all-star race at Rockingham or something like that. That would be really cool to see happen. I know there's so much going on at Rockingham right now. A lot of the big talk back in the day was all the traffic issues in and out of there. The states gave so much money to the tracks, so I hope they're able to alleviate some of this and work harder on getting some more races in there and just bringing back the rock to everybody so we can see some great racing there. Now, I just want to finish this out by saying my thoughts and prayers with everybody that's in the line of the hurricane coming up through. Batten down those hatches. Everybody be safe through it all, because we definitely want to keep you around for some racing entertainment and keep you safe and just be able to provide more with you and have you commentate with us back and forth and just have a good time. So everybody be safe with that. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do give us a like. And we got so much cool stuff coming. There'll be another episode dropping this Friday. Pretty much planning on doing episodes on Tuesdays and Fridays. So check us out, stick with us, subscribe to the channel. And as always, we'll see you at the checkered flag.